G'day guys, today I'm taking a look at the NECA 20-inch epic scale figure of Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. I believe this figure was released around the time of the first Lord of the Rings movie. So bottom line up front, this figure is awesome. As the box says, it is epic. The figure it's just massive compared to any other action figure you've probably got. The detail on this guy is fantastic. I mean, he looks almost exactly like Ian McKellen. The pose is cool. The accessories are really nicely detailed. The painting is excellent. It's just such a nice centerpiece, and I mean, for any Lord of the Rings fan, I think it's a must-have. As you'd expect, this box is huge, just like the figure is. On the back here we have some information talking about Gandalf. There's not much on the top. Taking a look at some of the finer details, you can see the face sculpt on Gandalf is just really nicely done. It's got a striking resemblance to Ian McKellen. The expression, I think, could have been a bit more aggressive or a bit more action-like. However, I think they have captured Gandalf's a bit of a thinking pose that Gandalf is famous for. He is a bit of a deep thinker after all. Now you can take Gandalf's his hat off and pose him without his hat, and the actual hair mold looks really good as well. If I just move this up a bit. So from any angle, I think they really have captured the mold of Gandalf really nicely. However, I prefer to display him with the hat on. I think, I mean, even the small details like the actual mold on this hat and the way that the brim just flops, the way the whole hat is designed, it's so well done. It looks exactly like Gandalf's hat from the movies. It's just really well done on NECA's part. The mold on the wooden staff with the crystal in it is quite nice. There's some patterns carved in just here, but there are two joins on the staff, one here and one quite a bit further down. Just there, it's a bit harder to see that one. But the actual paintwork on the staff is quite nice. It doesn't exactly look like wood, but then, you know, it's a staff. It definitely does the job well, and it fits in Gandalf's hand without a problem at all. They've even put quite a lot of effort into the design and the sculpt and the paintwork on his boots, and the way they've sculpted the actual his cloak over the boots. The whole thing is sculpted just quite nicely, and there's quite a lot of dirt and grime on his boots, as you'd expect for a man like Gandalf, who's a wandering wizard. He has a bag or a satchel just here. You can see the braid work that they've put into the actual strap of that bag. It's quite nice. And then you've got Gandalf's belt and the his scabbard. Well, this is the belt for his scabbard. Now the actual Galamdring sword and the scabbard is another piece which is fantastically detailed. If I just pull this out of the way and go down the scabbard, you can see they've even put significant amounts of detail onto that scabbard as well. And the sword easily pulls out of that and fits in just smoothly. It's perfectly designed. I'm not sure if you can see that, but they've actually got runes carved into the hilt of the sword, and have even, in the paintwork, they've put a bit of dirt and grime into the sword. Just small details like that really make the difference with these figures. You can fit this sword into Gandalf's right hand. It doesn't actually stay in the hand as well as it possibly could. It's sort of just, you have to get at the right angle for it to pose correctly. But there you go. It does fit quite nicely, and the actual sword being displayed with the staff in the other hand, I think is quite a nice pose. This is taking a complete look at that cloak. It falls quite nicely. It's made out of a soft rubber. You can't actually pose it in any other fashion. It just falls in that one position. My favourite pose is just to have his staff in the left hand and his sword out on the right hand ready. So I'm going to do a few size comparisons now. This is a Gandalf Lego minifigure, and if I just put him there beside Gandalf, you can see you can barely see him in the right hand corner there. The scale, the size difference is massive. It really just goes to show how big this Gandalf figure is. And one last thing, I have here a 6-inch Gandalf figure from the new Hobbit line, and if I just put that in the picture there as well, once again you can just see this 20-inch epic Gandalf, really, just like the name says, it is epic. It does come with a few downsides though. For example, this figure has very limited posability. If I just pull his staff out, his arm, in terms of articulation, his arm moves up and down. This arm as well moves up and down. The wrists do rotate at the wrist, and his waist has very limited articulation. But that's actually all you can do with Gandalf. There's no other articulation. You can't move his legs, because if I turn him upside down, you can actually see underneath his legs, it's actually solid. There's this solid piece here to help the figure balance. The whole thing is just solid plastic. I don't actually mind that this figure doesn't have much articulation, because I don't think the point of this figure is to be played with. I think this figure is for serious collectors or for adult fans who want a really nicely detailed, large-scale Gandalf figure that you can just put out on display. One last thing I'll show you is Gandalf sitting beside the other 20-inch epic figure that I own, which is of Legolas. These two are in the same 20-inch scale, and I think beside each other they look really nice. And finally, one last figure I've got is Gollum. This is the Smeagol pose of Gollum that I bought. And according to NECA, he's supposed to be in the same scale as these guys, but when you see him in the flesh with the 20-inch epic figures, he just looks too small. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found this review useful. If you're contemplating buying a Gandalf epic scale figure of your own, I bought mine on eBay. I think with shipping it cost me about $100. So you can still find them mint in box these days. But if you are looking for one, good luck. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And if you want any more videos, just let me know. In any case, thanks for watching, and bye for now.